What happens when you put a financial crisis with a climate problem with a weapon of mass destruction? Do you get to the point where you're at a so-called tipping point? Where is that tipping point? How close are we today versus our ability to adapt? Those are very fuzzy lines, and you approach them kind of tiptoeing and trying to figure out, are we there, aren't we? Will we have control of how quickly we approach those lines? I would guarantee you no.
We have got to tackle housing, and we've got to tackle these unnecessary foreclosures. They are a driving negative force on the decline in home prices. Housing had to correct. I don't want them to overcorrect, and I'm afraid they're starting to overcorrect because too many unnecessary foreclosures are creating distressed property sales, which are creating further downward pressure on home prices. So there's one thing government needs to do much more vigorously and comprehensively. It's tackle these unnecessary foreclosures.
Well, the premise of my comments is that we can either watch or react to change, or we can use change to shape our future success. And I believe that what we have to do, not just at Grant Thornton, but at any business, at any organization, at any university or any governmental agency, is use the change that we're seeing, as painful as it may be, to shape our future and use it in a very positive way.
All government officials have a commitment to setting fair and simple frameworks, and then we should try and get out of the way and allow our businesses, large and small, to flourish. But our belief remains that that won't happen unless we ensure that our future prosperity continues to lie in open markets.
For a long time it was thought that if you wanted to get something, you had to take it from somebody else, sort of a zero-sum mentality. But especially Franklin and Hamilton understood that if you provide the right environment, your success can be other people's success. And in terms of the ambition to get ahead, that's not greed. If you have certain talents, you should have a society that will enable you to realize and develop those talents to the fullest. That's not immoral. That's almost a duty if you have those kinds of talents to develop them. You get ahead, but others get ahead.
Now, I suggest if we're serious about closing the wealth gap, we must first, and this is where I think it gets provocative to some extent, we must be willing to talk about what I call race recognition remedies. And this discussion must take place at the highest levels of government, as well as between black and white Americans.